Welcome to the Third Wave Business Systems Credit Card Processing Application Instructional Video Series. My name is Dennis Tucker. I'm the Development Manager here at Third Wave, and in this third session we will be demonstrating the different ways that you can authorize or directly charge a customer's credit card. The TWBS credit card processing application is flexible enough to meet the needs of your business process to fill the void in SAP by providing you with the functionality to take in credit card funds from your customers, giving them the flexibility to meet their needs and yours. Third Wave credit card processing application helps you manage your business better. So let's get started. The first topics that we'll be covering today is how to authorize credit cards, either on the sales order, delivery note, or invoice, and also how to authorize a down payment through the AR Down Payment Invoices object in SAP Business One. As we covered in a previous session, there are two key factors to whether or not you can authorize an order on a customer's credit card. The first is whether that marketing document is enabled as an authorization level in the Third Wave application. The second is whether that marketing document is using the payment terms code that is established to be the payment terms code that the Third Wave credit card application will function for. To illustrate this, I've entered information into a sales order and I'm about to add it to the system. If we take a look at the Accounting tab, we can see that the payment terms code that's used for this sales order matches the payment terms code that's designated for use by the Third Wave credit card application. When I click the Add button to add the sales order to the system, once the add of the sales order is successful, I'll be prompted with a message box asking if I would like to authorize this sales order. This occurs because the sales order level is activated on the configuration screen and the sales order is using the payment terms code designated for Third Wave credit card processing. If the sales order level was deactivated or the document was using an alternate payment terms code, the Third Wave credit card application would not prompt the user. If I select the Yes option on the message box prompt, the Third Wave credit card authorization window, a custom UI design screen, will load, and the data for the default credit card associated with the business partner will be automatically loaded. Even if the user says no to the message box prompt, they can still access this authorization window. By right-clicking on the sales order, going to the credit card authorization right-click menu option, that will also load this form. If there is an authorization that can be done against this order and it has the correct payment terms code, this form will come up in Authorize mode. I can simply fill in the amount, or if I want, I can click the B key and the balance due amount will be transferred to the amount field. I'm going to use the default card and simply click the Authorize button. And the message on the status bar indicates that our authorization is successful. The fields for our card have been locked down and the authorization code has been returned to the form. If I click the OK button, I'll be returned to the sales order screen. And the information for my authorizations will also be visible through a credit card log tab that has been added to the marketing document screen. This tab provides the user with easy visibility to information such as the authorization code, cardholder data, and authorization amounts. The tab will also hold information for failed attempts, so if you try to authorize the card and say, for example, it had a bad expiration date, failed authorizations would also be visible on this tab as well. When you copy from document to document in the SAP Business One system, say from the sales order to the delivery or the sales order directly to the invoice, the store procedure logic installed with the Third Wave credit card application ensures that successful authorization information follows the flow of documents. However, if there were failed attempts to authorize an order, that information would not be copied to the next document. That information would remain solely on the sales order. Similarly, log information is not backwards compatible. So once an invoice is settled, and the funds are captured to your account, and an incoming payment is created, The incoming payment will only be reflected on the log data for the invoice. It will not be visible from previous documents like the sales order or delivery note. Third Wave's credit card processing application also allows you to split up an authorization against multiple credit cards. I'm adding another sales order to the system, and this time I'm going to use 2 different credit cards on the business partner to complete the authorization. For the default MasterCard that came up, I'm going to enter an amount of $200, which will leave a remaining balance still to be authorized. If I go up to the credit cards matrix list and I click on the Add Next Card option, the data for the first credit card will clear and I can pick a second card from either the business partner or use the one-time card option. I'll select the Visa card on the business partner and I'll click the B key to take the remaining value from the balance due and put it into the amount field. I'll click the Authorize button and the information for each card's authorization will be separately sent to the credit card payment gateway. If the authorizations are successful as indicated by my system message bar, the value for the authorization code will be entered for each credit card. And I can check the value for the authorization code of the MasterCard and Visa by clicking on their respective entries on the credit card list on the left-hand side. If I click the OK button to get back to the sales order screen and look at my credit card log tab, the information for each authorization, including the respective amounts and card details, is available on separate lines on the credit card log tab. Please note that if you are using multiple cards for an authorization, you can only use the one-time card option once. The other card or cards would need to be cards that are saved against the business partner record. A real-world business-to-business scenario for using this functionality might be if you were dealing with a corporate card that had a per-transaction limit, and the per-transaction limit was less than the total amount of an order they wanted to place with that card. In that case, the specific card details could be saved on the business partner record multiple times, so long as each instance of the card had a different unique card ID name. In that case, you could use the card twice or 3 times, with each value for use of the card being underneath the per-transaction limit. The Third Wave credit card processing application transmits the data for each instance use of the card in such a way that the credit card processing gateway will treat each as a separate transaction, even though the combination of those transactions is against the same marketing document. This will allow you to fully authorize or charge your order while respecting the per-transaction limit of the card in question. To demonstrate how to authorize a down payment invoice, I'm first going to add a sales order to the system. I'm not going to authorize it when prompted, but I'll then go ahead and take that sales order and I'm going to go and copy it to an AR down payment invoice by selecting the Copy To button and the AR down payment option. The information for the order is loaded into the AR down payment invoice screen, and I can set my down payment either by setting the amount, and SAP will automatically calculate the percentage for you, or you can set the percent and it will automatically calculate the amount. I'm going to go ahead and add the AR down payment invoice into the SAP Business One system. And like the other marketing document levels that are activated, once I do that, because it's using the payment terms code, I'm prompted for an authorization. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, that I would like to authorize my down payment, and the authorization window will come up just as the processes that we've shown previously. I'll set the amount and click the Authorize button, and I will have authorized the AR down payment invoice. What's important to recognize about this particular process is if I look at the credit card log tab, all authorization data is related to the down payment invoice document, not to the originating sales order. So this authorization will need to be settled prior to the originating sales order reaching the AR invoice document stage in order for the down payment funds to be properly applied back to the AR invoice. Also, the sales order and delivery note levels, if activated, will still continue to prompt you for authorizations on those documents. If you choose to authorize the order or delivery, that authorization will be done in addition to the authorization already done against the down payment invoice document. The entire down payment process will be covered in an upcoming session. The next topic we'll cover is how to void open authorizations. If a document is closed or canceled and there is an existing credit card authorization against it, the third wave credit card processing application will prompt the user if they would like to void the open authorization at the time they are canceling or closing. However, if you find yourself in a situation where there's an open authorization against a document and you do not want to cancel or close it, for example, if a customer you've authorized an order for calls you back and says that they didn't mean to use the card they had given you, they'd like to have you authorize an alternate card, there's a method in the third wave credit card processing application that will allow you to void the existing authorization and then create a new one against the other card. To access this feature, use the right-click button on the marketing document for which you want to void the open authorizations. Select the Void Open Authorizations right-click menu option, and the user will be prompted with a confirmation message box confirming that they would like to void all open authorizations against the document selected. Selecting Yes will transmit the void request to the credit card payment gateway, and the information for the void will be reflected on the credit card log tab. Once the void of the authorization has been processed, the user can simply access the credit card authorization window through the right-click menu and create the new authorization against the alternate card. Up until now, what we've been talking about is how to authorize a customer's credit card, meaning that you are verifying that a certain amount of funds are available and you're reserving those funds for a given period of time. What we're going to talk about as our last topic today is how to directly charge a credit card, meaning that in addition to validating that the funds are available at the time you're doing the authorization request, you're also going to be capturing those funds into your account. There are multiple ways that you can do that, including directly charging from the marketing documents themselves, directly charging from the batch processing screen, which is a custom UI screen in the TWBS credit card processing application, or directly charging from the incoming payment and payment means screens from within SAP Business One. To utilize the functionality to directly charge a customer's card, you'll need to click the Payment Means button on the SAP menu toolbar while you're on the marketing documents screen. This will bring up the Payment Means screen. When accessed from the sales order, the caption on the screen actually shows Deposit on Order, and the SAP Business One system will create an AR down payment invoice associated with the sales order, whereas if you were to access this from the invoice, it would simply show Payment Means and would apply the funds directly to the AR invoice. This form from the sales order can be accessed in add mode, or it can be accessed after the sales order has been added to the system. However, if you wanted to directly charge a card from the AR invoice, the Payment Means button is not available after the invoice has been added to the system and would have to be done while in add mode. It's also very important to note that if you're a customer that wants to take advantage of the Level 2 and Level 3 data transmission in the third wave credit card processing application, you will not be able to directly charge a card while in add mode because the data required to be transmitted to the credit card provider includes line item level information that must be taken from the SAP Business One company database after the order has been added. Before we continue with our direct charge while in add mode on the sales order, we'll want to make sure that the order is complete in terms of all items, prices, and quantities are updated. I'll cancel out of the Payment Means screen and I'll add the sales order to the system. I'll select No for the authorization prompt, bring the sales order back up in the system, and click on the Payment Means button again to bring the screen back up. I can choose the business partner associated credit card that I would like to directly charge by clicking the Choose Credit Cards button, selecting the card from the screen provided, which will return the details for the credit card back to the Payment Means screen. I can put the CVV code in the ID number field if I have it, fill in the amount due, and click the OK button. With a successful authorization charge, you'll notice that the voucher number field on Payment Means has been filled in with the authorization code for your charge of funds captured to your account. We'll continue back to the sales order. And what you'll notice is that if we update the order, the remarks will now mark that it is linked to a down payment invoice number 19 in our system. And if I click on the credit card log tab, there's no data associated with this particular sales order. I'll bring up the AR down payment invoice that was created by doing the direct charge on the sales order, and you'll see that the information reflects the direct charge to the sales order in the system that is now associated with the down payment invoice and will show up on the AR invoice once the sales order has reached that level in the SAP Business One system. To directly charge a credit card from the TWBS credit card batch processing custom UI form, you'll need to access the form through the banking menu, incoming payments, TWBS credit card processing submenu, batch processing menu option. You can select the document that you want to charge, click the Choose Card button, and you'll get a list of cards associated with that particular business partner. Selecting the card will put the credit card details on the line of the batch processing screen associated with the document that you want to charge. AR invoices, AR credit memos, and AR down payment invoices that are using the payment terms code set up for TWBS credit card processing will appear on the batch processing screen. The CVV code field will allow you to enter the card security code if you have it, and you can click the Process button at the bottom to do the direct charge and create the incoming payment in SAP in one step. If you'd like to separate out those steps, you can uncheck the Settle and Create Incoming Payment checkbox, and now you'll have two buttons. The Settle button will create the direct charge with the credit card processing gateway, transmitting the data for the credit card. Once that's done, it would move to the Settled Authorizations tab, and you could select it there and click the Create Incoming Payment button to create the incoming payment in SAP Business One. I'll select the Settle and Create Incoming Payment checkbox again and click the Process button. As you can see through the status bar, the direct charge was successful, and the status message also indicated that the incoming payment was created for the AR invoice. Incoming payment number 130, which I can display through the incoming payment screen in SAP Business One, click on the Payment Means button, and see the reflected credit card payment information on Payment Means. The last method of direct charging a credit card that we're going to look at today is directly through the incoming payment screen itself. On the incoming payment screen in SAP Business One, I can enter the business partner code for the customer whose card that I would like to charge. I can select the document that I would like to pay for the business partner. Please note that the third wave credit card processing application will only allow you to select one document that is using the payment terms code associated with credit card. You cannot combine multiple documents. I'll click on the Payment Means menu option, and when the form loads, I can click on the Choose Credit Cards button and select the credit card associated with the business partner that I would like to directly charge. Again, as in previous examples, the card details will be brought back to the Payment Means screen. I can fill in my card security code if I have it, set the amount to be directly charged to the card, and click the OK button. The direct charge to the card will be transmitted, and when it's successful, The authorization code will be put into the voucher number field on the payment means screen. I can click Continue to the SAP message prompts and return back to my incoming payment. It's critical at this point that the incoming payment be completely added to the system because the card has been directly charged. If the incoming payment is not completed, the funds will not be refunded to the card. They will simply be charged to the card, but SAP will not reflect that in the system. You can access the card details by going back to the payment means screen. For more information on Third Wave's credit card processing application, or any of the other applications that Third Wave offers, please visit our website at www.twbs.com. You can click the Contact Us link in the upper right corner of the page. Existing Third Wave partners and customers can obtain more information through the support portal by clicking the Customer Support link in the upper right corner of the page. Thank you for your time and attention.